I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, and as always, joined by Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Saturday, June the 1st races at Hastings. We do have 7 races on tap. Should be a good afternoon. Weather's supposed to be great as we do kick off another weekend, a Saturday, Sunday weekend of racing action.
And of course, the Emerald Down for 3-year-old fillies will be our feature event that does go as the second. So early on the card, but as Mike mentioned, 7 races on the Saturday card. Let's kick it off. The first is a $25,000 claimant event for straight 3-year-olds, field of 6. I went to the one here, Aldergrove, broke his maiden for 25, or not broke his maiden last year for 25, won a 25 already over Vintage Man, a tough horse there, and New Diamond. Phil Hall going great guns, batting 26%, Enrique Gonzalez aboard. I took Aldergrove. He's got speed, he's on the rails. Sir Knight, I think, is going to get a good trip. That's my other pick in here. Those are the 2 I really like in here. I couldn't really decide. I did put Sir Knight in the second spot, 1 for 16, so I gave the slight edge over to Aldergrove. He's won 2. Vintage Man has won, or sorry, Sir Knight has won 1. But I think he'll get a good trip. Denny Velasquez, man, has he ever...
He's doing really well.
Yeah,
he's adapted to Hastings very nicely.
Yes, he has. Just looks great. So it's those 2, and then pick a third horse. I went with Bill Smokin' Bullet, coming out of a 4, but he won by 11. Yeah. Goes to a new barn for 25. Why not for my third spot? I went 1-5-2.
Yeah, I agree with the top 2. I went to Sir Knight on top. I just think the horse is the fastest, and if the track's playing for speed, I think Sir Knight will be tough to catch. It wasn't the toughest of maiden 16 races, defeating Rack City and a Ranger, but still the horse did it quite... it was pretty game down the lane, and... once competition came to him, and I like to see that when the competition comes to them, they fend them off. And there was a comfortable half-length victory, and I think he's ready for this tougher test because Aldergrove ran well. That horse earned a nice victory last time. Put away the favorite Vintage Man. They were 5 lengths clear of the third horse. Ran a really good race. He is your horse to beat. And I think Sir Knight might be able to get away on him. And I put New Diamond in for third. I think he's... he has had the benefit of winter racing and had a little fitness edge, but didn't get a pace edge last time. Maybe he'll get it today. I went 5, 1, and 3 in the Saturday opener out of the second races. Drew mentioned the Emerald Downs Handicap. I'll have to wait long for the stakes action just to feel the 4. The Summerland has scared a few of the 3-year-old fillies away, and even though she is toting 122 pounds, she's going to be, awfully tough.
She'd be tough.
Yeah. She's unbeaten here at Hastings. Her lone loss did come, of course, at Del Mar in the Grade 2 Sorrento behind Bellafina, who was the favorite in the Breeders' Cup, and, of course, was recently the favorite. Didn't run well in the Kentucky Oaks either, but Bellafina is a very nice filly from Southern
Girl.
California.
That was, Mother, I think, was
Simon
in that race.
Callahan's
It was a tough race. Yeah.
But still, that was a tough race. Other than that, she's just been running against the BC horses. She's been money.
Perfect,
as well as
6
went to Century Downs as well and won on the road there. But she's her horse to beat. I put Dancing Shoes in for second. Didn't get the greatest of trips last time, and I know she's not 10 lengths behind Summerland. I think the distance between them will be a lot closer today.
I'd like to see her bounce back with a big effort today. I think
she's had 2 really good work. She's looked really good. I've seen her in the mornings. She's looked great. I think you'll see more of the 2018 Dancing Shoes that we saw last year.
Back with a good effort.
That'll show up today. And I put the One Horse Warriors Promise. It was very good for Patty Lee. Wow,
what
the
a
horse
race.
ran great at long odds and rallied to give Summerland a bit of a scare in that race.
Yeah, no, we're in a huge race. I agree. Summerland,
4-3-1.
Absolutely the horse to beat. I put Warriors Promise in for second, just because that was a huge effort last time. Really impressed. It was huge. Still a maiden, and just ran lights out for the...
I know, we were happy because Barb run 1-2 with Sunburst and Celerity in the last maiden filly. Very happy to see Warriors Promise
go in the stakes.
Show up in the stake.
Huge effort from her last time. I put Notice in for third. This is a girl that shows up every time, another fighter. I mean, it's Summerland and the other 3. That would be my try.
Yep. Well done.
I went 4-1-2 in the second. On the
Ravine,
third.
is your name?
Yeah,
Ravine?
exactly.
Yeah,
Kreskin. Maiden 25 for 3 and up, going 6.5 furlongs. Field of 7. 3 horse looks to be really tough in here.
Yeah.
Summerland's the best bet of the day, which is going to be about 210. I think this is my best bet of the day that you might get something on.
$6.
Yeah, exactly. You might get 2-1 on You Don't Own Me. Led the whole way in a pretty live maiden special weight first start here. Hadn't run since January. Did have some winter racing, but stopped in January. And I just think she gets the lead under Denny Velasquez and is he's going to be tough to get by. So I got You Don't Owe Me. Really like this horse. I got him on top. I put the Valentine Kid, Maven's horse. He wasn't a long way behind You Don't Own Me last time, only about 3/4 of a length, but he comes from off it. You Don't Own Me has the pace. That's why I think You Don't Own Me is much tougher. Valentine Kid, though, Rob Maven due for some luck. His horse is running good. He's due to break out. Another one dropping out of that maiden special weight with Day Flyer. And I threw in Gabby's Bay for trainer John Morrison, who's off to a great start. Does a great job getting them ready in the mornings to show up. Just the one start last year in a maiden special weight. As I mentioned, John Morrison with...
he trained
Here's
the mare too.
Hannah.
Gabby got her way.
Yeah, Gabby got her way. Was owned
a
by
really nice
James
little
Reddicock.
filly for James too.
But we saw Here's Hannah fire very well off the bench. Brother Rod fired off the bench. I'm thinking Gabby.
Well, John's firing.
Bay.
2 for 2. Can't get no better than
Yeah,
that.
you can't get nowhere than that. A live one in here you might get a bit of a price on. I went 3.52.
Yeah, I agree with the 3. You Don't Own Me for Dave Milburn and the Middlelouche Stables. Brilliant effort first time out.
Yeah,
Opened up a
big
big
effort.
lead. Got caught late by some pretty nice colts. Day Flyer, Victor, and Patty Dioro. This race didn't come up super tough, and definitely the horse to come and catch. And has a race under his belt, and just looks on paper to be pretty tough. Slight little drop from maiden special down to the 2 bits here.
Might work it, yeah.
I put the 7-horse Spokane's Gem. The horse did run for 4. I mean, the horse got claimed, ran for 4. Didn't win, which is disappointing, but this horse has the best numbers of anyone. There's a couple of 58s, a 55. Like, these horses don't have those kind of numbers.
Got beat by Bill Smoking Bullets, who came back to win by 11.
That ended up being a transplant. Wasn't bad. That horse came back to run a reasonable race against winners, but still, Spokane's Gem. Yeah, I just don't want to leave the horse out. I put the horse in for second. I agree with the Valentine Kid. Put that one in for third. It was a very good run for maiden special, and in for the maiden 2 bits today. I went 3, 7, and 5 in the third. On the fourth race, $4,000 fillies and mares here that haven't won a race or non-4 lifetime. Haven't won a race this year, or a non-4 lifetime going a mile on the 16th. I wanted the 2-horse Commercial Appeal. Horse was bought. Part of the was in the Hastings paddock sale.
Yep.
Was purchased by Nancy Gary Ferguson of the Wishful Thinking Stables, and this horse is a route horse, and that's what this horse wants to do. Did have the 1 run sprinting, wasn't disgraced behind a slow pace, 24-1, 47-2. The Tattooed Kitty's a nice horse. Won a pile of races last year, Union Obsession, and but still, I just thought the horse ran a better than looked race for us. A route horse in a sprint, and especially going 6. Get them all on the 16th will set up perfect. I put the 4-horse Belly Girl, another one, can't sprint, very good going along. Her best races are going along. I thought she had a little bit of value to her. She's going to be 8-10-1, and I thought she was worth putting in. And I put the 7-horse 7 chances. You know, he's going to put the 7 in when he's the number 7.
Horse, yes.
Bamboo 11 was the 11 last week. Ran a bang. I know. I hope it hasn't come to that for handicapping.
It's the hunch play.
Did run second at 23-1 or something.
Exactly.
The Bamboo 11 was in the 11 hole. Anyway, 7 chances for me. He was at 2 bang-up races. It's coming up from Phoenix. Does want to go along. Very interesting as well. But I did go to the 2 Commercial Appeal. I went 2-4-7.
I went to Kodiak Quick. The Steve Henson horse finished ahead of Commercial Appeal last time. Another one that wants to route, but it has more speed going long. And that's why I think the advantage could lie with Kodiak Quick. Scott Williams off to a great start. Kodiak Quick for me on top of Commercial Appeal for the reasons you mentioned. Another one, 5-time winner at today's distance. So Commercial Appeal is going to relish going around 3 turns. And I agree with you, 7 chances. In the 7 hole, in the third spot, I went 6, 2, and 7. I do like Kodiak Quick, though.
Yep.
On to the 5th, 3-year-old fillies for $25,000, going 6.5 furlongs. I went to the 1 Flight Data. Good effort. She was in a maiden special weight and threw a rider on post parade, scratched, came back in at 25 the next week, and made no mistake. I thought a really good effort in her first start. I could see her moving forward a little bit off that. That was a good one, too, with Sunburst and Tui in there. That was a live race. And Flight Data, there might be a lot more upside there. I got Flight Data on top of on top of Blondie, the Mark Cluche runner. Ran second to Chrissy last out. Good record for her. What is she? 3 starts, 2 seconds, and a win in a maiden special weight last year. And Chrissy, I didn't.
Her one of the better fillies. I'm surprised she wasn't in the stake.
In the stake, exactly. I was going to say this. She didn't end up in the stake, but Chrissy looks really good right now. And running second behind her could be good enough to win this 25. And I threw in Mrs. Taylor for Glenn Todd in the 3rd spot. Took her a little while to get her legs under her last year, if you look. First start was pretty flat. Second start, a good third, a main special weight, and then won a main special weight by 6 in her third start. Similar maybe form this year. Started out against Summerlin in that Ross McLeod. Now in for 25 second start, one that's eligible to move forward. I went 1, 5, and 8.
Yeah, I'm totally opposite to you in this particular race.
Yeah, I can see that in this race.
I went to the 3 Marshall Swindle. Just finished winning in a waiver claim for 16,000.
That's a good
sat
pick.
off of GMT Baby, who dropped out of the stake. That ran against her stablemate Summerland, and into the 16, and Marshall Swindle just sat the trip just in behind, and
Never been beat.
Lenny Seacheron just rode a great race and ran the horse down and run on nicely, and I think she's ready for another top effort. But the 7-horse Librarian, I was pretty impressed with her maiden score. Final time, not great.
Yeah.
The way she did it, very good. Bad Girl, and came back and got beat, but the horse that ran second, but Bad Girl put a head in front of her at the 16th pole. Looked like she was running by, and this Librarian just kind of fell asleep on the lead and looked like she was home and cooled out, and then fell asleep, and then rebroke like a horse. There's more in there, which I like to see. Though this horse has something, and I like to see Amadeo Perez stick with the horse.
Yeah.
This horse is all right, Librarian. I put the 4-horse GMT Baby in for third. Good run. Dropping in for a tag, and she's dangerous for the Phil Hall.
Oh, we pretty much covered the field.
We
there.
did, other than Gifted Graves,
Yeah.
not that. Carlin's Angel ran against the boys last time, and that's pretty much covers the field.
There we go.
These 8 fillies are well matched.
This
It's a
would be
good
tough.
race.
Yeah.
3-7-4 for Mike here in race number 5. On to the 6th race. Maiden $4,000 claimers for Colts and Geldings, going 6.5 furlongs. I ended up on the 5-horse Dixie's Wild Card. Pretty impressed with the first up run. Had no luck on the stretch turn. Did have some. Seemed like he had some run. Had no room to produce it, and was kind of stymied in behind some tiring horses. Times you were changing, was going wide and earned the victory and ran on for the win. But still, this horse was kind of just bottled up, and I think with a better trip. Denny Velasquez, nice to see Denny take them out.
Yeah, that's why I kind of leaned to
Yeah, so I went Dixie's Wild Card over the 2 Honk, who showed good speed in both of his races when arriving from Emerald Downs and Pleasanton last year. The horse had been running in California, then was shipped up to Seattle, was quickly sent here for 2 races at Hastings. Just looked like maybe the horse was just maybe a little tired,
little spent,
maybe just a lot of traveling, and the horse didn't show his best. And rightfully so. The horse was given the rest of the season off, and it's come back to work well. 35, 48, 48, 101, 102, and 102. Very good works for Pat Jarvis, and I think this horse might be a little better than his 2 races at Hastings showed last year. So I thought at 8, 10 to 1, this horse would be worth a look as well. And I put the 9-horse Buck, who's the obvious horse. Ran for 8 last time, battled on the pace, didn't fare well at the end. Like Dixie's Wild Card did beat the horse, but at least he was doing the fighting, and it was just his first race of the year. And actually another one that was bought in the paddock sale. Well, actually, both the 5 and 9 were bought in the paddock sale. Dixie's Wild Card and the 9 Buck were both part of private purchases or sale purchases at the Hastings paddock sale a couple of months back. But I went 5, 2, and 9.
I went with the 2. I'm with you. I went with the 2 out of that times were changing race. Dixie's Wild Card and Buck, the 2 that are dropping down from the $8,000 level. I got Dixie's Wild Card on top. I agree with you. Love the addition of Denny Velasquez. Buck, I got in second. I threw a Successful Brew in. Milton
Horse ran good. Looked good on parade.
Yeah, ran all right. I mean, Bill Smoking Bullet, he's in for 25 this week as the horse that beat him, and he was well clear of the 3rd horse. So I didn't want to leave him out. Successful Brew for me in the 3rd spot. I went 5, 7, and 9. On to the 7th. Good race here to close it out. A 16 for 3 and up. Colts and Geldings. I went to the one. The odds are good. We picked him last time.
That's my horse.
And that was a tougher 16. Silvertown won that. He came back to win for 25. Twist Grips was second, only beating him a half. And breaking from the rail. He's a fighter. And there is some other speed in here. But I don't know if anybody wants to go as quick as he can. And with a race under his belt, I think he moves forward for Mel Snow. He's my pick. The odds are good.
Yep.
Over Ezekiel, the horses should be lapped right on the outside of him. He's another one against Denny Velasquez. And he's coming out of 16 on 3 as opposed to a wide open 16 like the odds are good. But we've seen horses. We saw Silvertown, right? He won last year in a 16 on 3, and he stayed right at that
into
level
the 16 open.
and even up. So Ezekiel in the 2nd spot, and I put Kermode, who's coming out of a 25, and whenever he's in for 16, go back to his form. When he's in for 16, he's kind of like the odds are good. 25 might be a little deep for him, but when he's in for 16, he's tough, and I'm going to throw him in the third spot, 154.
I have the same top two. I like the odds are good. I've always liked this horse. He
Yeah.
got cooked on the pace last time with Silvertown and still ran an admirable third. Big positive rider change, and there's lots to like about it. The odds are good.
Yeah.
Ezekiel live as well. The 5 horse, I think he's ready for open company and looked good. He was battling 23 flat, 46 flat. He was pressured hard the entire way. He didn't get any breaks.
Yeah.
He just shrugged everyone
Still
off
went on, yeah.
and kept running. He was an impressive performance. He is ready for this tougher test. I put the 2 horse Wise Market. That's where Enrique Gonzalez shows up instead of Ezekiel, which is kind of surprising there, but he ends up on Wise.
He does ride a ton for Phil, though.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. But 152 for me in the Saturday finale. That'll do it for our analysis of the Saturday program. Next up on screen will be a quick recap of our selections. Back in race number 1, I did go to the 5 horse Sir Knight. Going to go 5, 1, and 3. Race number 2, I went to the 4 Summerland. Going to go 4, 3, and 1. Race number 3, I went to the 3 You Don't Own Me. 3, 7, 5. Race number 4, the 2 Commercial Appeal. 2, 4, 7. Race number 5 went to the 3 Marshall Swindle, trying to go 3 for 3 Lifetime. 3, 7, 4. Race number 6, the 5 Dixie's Wildcard over the 2 Honk and the 9 Buck. 5, 2, 9 in the 6th. 7th race went to the 1. The odds are good. Going to go 1, 5, and 2.
On my picks, there we go. Back in the first, I went to the 1 Aldergrove over the 5 and the 2. The second, obviously, I agree with Mike. Tough to beat her. Number 4 Summerland over the 1 and the 2. In the third, as I mentioned, this might be my value best bet of the day. Number 3, You Don't Own Me over the 5 and the 2. In the fourth, I went to the 6 Kodiak Quick over the 2 and the 7. In the fifth, I went to the 1 Flight Data down to the rail over the 5 and the 8. And I agree with Mike in the late double. The 6th race, number 5 Dixie's Wildcard over the 9 and 7. And in the nightcap, number 1, the odds are good over the 5 and the 4.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to the Saturday, June the 1st edition of Handicapper's Corner. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Hopefully you get a little bit of insight into the Saturday program. As we mentioned off the top, weather's going to be great. Track's going to be fast. It's going to be a great day. 1 week till the Belmont Stakes, which will be Saturday, June the 8th. Don't forget to get your seats here at the Derby. If you're not heading out to Hastings, there are still some seats.
Yeah, the Triple Crown days of the Derby are just a riot here. So, be sure you give us a call, 536-2978, 604-536-2978. We can get a reservation in for you.
All right, on behalf of Drew, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Handicapper's Corner.
I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do